Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is January 16th, 2018. And now, the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a woman found dead Saturday along Florida Road has been identified as a 40-year-old Forest Lakes resident, but authorities are at a loss about the circumstances of her death. Around 7:15 a.m. Saturday, Durango Police Department responded to a report of an unattended death on the 1600 block of Florida Road, County Road 240, about a half-mile east of the Durango Sports Club. The woman was identified as 40-year-old Melissa Bales of Bayfield, who lived with her husband and son in the Forest Lakes subdivision, La Plata County's largest subdivision 20 miles east of Durango. La Plata County Coroner Jan Smith said Sunday that Bales was found about 10 to 15 feet off the side of the road, but authorities don't believe a car hit her. Durango police said Saturday they don't suspect foul play. There was nothing at the scene that would give us a clue as to what was going on, Smith said. She said Bales was not carrying anything with her, such as a backpack or purse. She was wearing a down jacket, pants, and shoes. Durango police said Saturday that Bales may have died from exposure. Smith also said nobody, including Bales' family, knows why she was in the area about 18 miles from her home. Smith said an autopsy to be conducted later this week may help piece together the circumstances of Bales' death. Calls to the Durango Police Department seeking more information were not immediately returned Sunday. According to her LinkedIn account, Bales was the owner of MacWorks Consulting in Bayfield. She had previously worked for Chimera Communications, Basin Printing and Imaging, and the Durango Chamber of Commerce. Hammond said Bales had lived in the Durango-Bayfield area for a while. She was Basin Printing's pre-press supervisor before she left to have a family and freelance for Chimera Communications, he said.
The Journal reported on a driver eluding officers from Cortez to Shiprock. A vehicle traveling more than 100 miles an hour blasted through Cortez, Toyac, and Shiprock on Sunday afternoon, according to local law enforcement. No crashes or injuries were reported, but drivers reported being forced off the road during dangerous passes. Navajo Police and Bureau of Indian Affairs officers lost track of the SUV as it traveled southbound on U.S. Highway 491 south of Shiprock. About 1 p.m., Cortez Dispatch received 5 911 calls about a reckless driver westbound on U.S. Highway 160 near Mancos, said Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin. Upon arriving in Cortez, the vehicle ran through stoplights traveling at 85 miles an hour and said Cortez police officer Andy Brock. He said Cortez police were monitoring the vehicle but pulled off after 3 minutes to avoid a more dangerous high-speed chase. A high-speed pursuit could have caused more problems in this situation, Brock said. Local and regional police were notified there was not enough advanced notice to deploy spike strips in this incident, he said. Driving past Belt Salvage at 6702 U.S. Highway 491, the vehicle hit 100 miles an hour and was traveling at 90 miles an hour south of County Road E, officers reported. BIA, Navajo, and New Mexico police took over the incident once the vehicle crossed onto the Ute Mountain Ute Reservation and over the Colorado state line. A Cortez Police Department incident report describes the vehicle as a blue Hyundai Sorento hatchback with New Mexico license plates. The driver was male and there were no apparent passengers. There were no reported crashes, but there were some close calls with other drivers, Brock said. The speeder reportedly turned around in or near Shiprock and briefly headed back north, then turned around again and resumed traveling south. Montezuma County deputies were stationed south of Cortez and were ready to deploy spike strips if the vehicle returned to Colorado, Nowlin said. Deputies and police reported they did not actively chase the vehicle, but it was unclear whether New Mexico police or BIA got involved in a high-speed chase with sirens and lights. Law enforcement officers consider multiple factors when deciding if a high-speed chase is warranted. Officials said if the driver is suspected in a murder or kidnapping, a chase is more likely to stop a suspect. For traffic violations, a high-speed chase may be avoided by public safety issues, and the driver is contacted at a later time. As of Monday morning, the speeding Sunday driver had not been identified and no arrests were reported.
According to the Cortez Journal, election sites far from reservations, poll workers who don't speak tribal languages, unequal access to early voting sites. Native Americans say they have encountered a wide range of obstacles to voting. Advocates have been spending the last few months gathering stories from around Indian country in the hope that tribal members can wield more influence in elections and improve conditions among populations that encounter huge disparities in health, education, and economics. Some of the problems they were facing actually were issues we thought we'd taken care of a long ago, said O.J. Simmons, a Rosebud Sioux tribal member and executive director of South Dakota-based voting rights group For Directions. If you don't keep your eye open and the communication open, things will reverse. Tribes successfully have challenged what they see as discriminatory voting practices around the United States. In Utah, a federal judge recently ordered school board and county commission districts redrawn after the Navajo Nation argued they had been divided by race. In Nevada, the Pyramid Lake and Walker River Paiute tribes won a legal battle to improve early voting access on their reservations. Alaska Natives reached a settlement in a case that includes increased language assistance for 3 areas. When working with local election officials doesn't work, tribes often turn to the 1965 Voting Rights Act to try to force changes, said James Tucker, a pro bono attorney for the Native American Rights Fund. The group is part of a coalition holding field hearings nationwide ahead of the next round of redistricting to compile what it believes will be the most comprehensive look at voting rights abuses in Indian country. A hearing was held Thursday in Phoenix, and others were planned this year in Oregon, California, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. What we're trying to show is people don't have equal opportunities to vote, to register, to vote, and to participate in Indian country than you would see in maybe a more urban setting, Tucker said. Native Americans didn't become U.S. citizens until 1924, but some states restricted who was entitled to vote up to the 1960s, with laws saying Native Americans who weren't taxed, who lived on reservations, or were enrolled with tribes couldn't cast a ballot. Southwestern states were the last holdouts.
Water projects for San Brito wetlands get funding, that according to the Journal. The Southwest Basin Roundtable approved $194,000 worth of grants towards regional 2018 water projects during a meeting last week in Cortez. The Roundtable also recommended the Colorado Water Conservation Board approve another $250,000 in grant applications for water projects. The town of Rico, which is looking to upgrade its municipal water system, was awarded $90,000 in grants for a project that would restore the Silver Creek water diversion system. Rico Town Manager Carrie DiStefano explained that the town of 256 residents currently relies on well water, but the community doesn't like its taste and the hard water is clogging up cooking equipment and coffee makers. We would like to get the Silver Creek system back up and running, she said. The well provides enough for town but does not allow for much growth. Rico has a more senior water right on the Silver Creek, but the municipal water diversion went offline in 2014 because of system problems. The grant funding will pay for a feasibility study to determine how much it will cost to get the Silver Creek system operational and may provide grant matching funds for future project construction. DiStefano said the capital improvement project also includes planning for replacement of problematic exterior water meters on homes with more reliable interior meters. Of the total Rico grant amount, $30,000 was provided from Southwestern Water Conservation District. Ducks Unlimited was awarded $50,000 from the Southwest Roundtable for a project improving the San Brito wetlands south of Navajo Reservoir in Colorado. About $170,000 was recommended by the Roundtable Board for approval from State Conservation Board grant funds. To find out more about the Southwest Basin Roundtable grant opportunities, visit them online at swwcd.org.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, mortgage assistance through the Homes Fund is designed to help working families buy homes, but as housing prices rise, it is tougher for the nonprofit to aid residents. The number of households the nonprofit was able to help in 2017 fell to 17 from 26 households the previous year, Executive Director Lisa Lisa Palmer said. The Homes Fund assisted families in La Plata, Archuleta, and Montezuma counties. In the third quarter of 2017, the median price for homes in La Plata County rose to $365,000, up from $350,000. During the same period in 2016, according to the most current data available from the Durango Area Association of Realtors. The nonprofit helped more families in 2017 than it did in 2015 and 2014, but overall the number of people who can get help shrunk. That slice of the pie, that slice of the people we can serve that meet our income limits and can afford to purchase a home with our subsidies and meet our other requirements, including our credit requirements, got smaller, Palmer said. The nonprofit can provide funds to people in La Plata County who make less than 80% of the area median income, a number that varies by family size. For example, Homes Fund can help a family of 4 making less than $58,650 a year buy a house in the county. But in some cases, the down payment assistance available isn't enough. If a family earning $45,000 a year is looking to buy a $300,000 house, and Homes Fund can provide $50,000 in mortgage assistance, the prospective buyers still may not qualify for a $250,000 loan from a traditional lender. The nonprofit could increase the amount of down payment assistance available, but then it wouldn't be able to help as many families, Palmer said. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather map shows the large high pressure that was mostly over Canada yesterday has slid down in and settled over much of the central U.S. And the extreme looped low pressure is pushing the rains and thunderstorms off into the Gulf from Texas. The west coast is now between 2 systems, causing rain and rain-snow mixes west of the Rocky Mountains. And meanwhile, snow and rain pushes over the eastern seaboard and Great Lakes all the way up to the New England area, leaving just Florida for now with sunny winter skies and no rains. Regionally, dry weather will continue over the next several days, with temperatures running 5 to 10 degrees above average. Then on Friday, expect increasing clouds ahead of our next storm system. A surge of Pacific moisture will accompany this system, and widespread significant precipitation is possible in the mountains of Utah and Colorado from Friday night through Sunday morning. Right now, what was predicted for Friday night may in fact move forward to an event Saturday and into Sunday. As we get closer to those predictions, they will become clearer. So the 5-day DCTV outlook is showing at this point in time today sunny with a high near 40 degrees, west-southwest winds around 5 miles an hour. Tonight partly cloudy with a low down around 23, east-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 46, north-northwest winds 5 to 10. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 24 degrees, east-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 49 degrees. East winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Thursday night, it will be partly cloudy with a low around 28. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 50 degrees. And then Friday night, a slight chance of rain showers before 8 p.m. and then a chance of rain and snow showers between 8 p.m. and midnight, and a chance of snow showers after midnight, mostly cloudy with a low around 29 degrees. Saturday, that chance of snow showers continues, mostly cloudy with a high near 39. Saturday night, a chance of snow showers before 11 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 20. And then Sunday, sunny with a high again near 39 degrees. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 20. And we'll have a better idea of just how much that snow chance will impact our part of the Four Corners in the next few days. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, early season visits to Colorado ski resorts are down between 11 and 13% compared with last year because of low snow conditions, operators reported. Colorado Ski Country USA, which represents 23 resorts, recorded 13% fewer visits at its member operations through December 31st, the Aspen Daily News reported Saturday. Separately, Vail Resorts, which isn't part of Colorado Ski Country USA, reported visits were down 10.8% at its North American ski areas through January 8th. That includes 4 in Colorado, but state-only numbers weren't reported. After a promising start in October, warm, dry weather reduced the amount of natural snowfall, so many resorts relied on snowmaking, said Melanie Mills, president and CEO of Colorado Ski Country. Unfortunately, the weather stopped cooperating, and the warm temperatures in November and December kept many skiers and riders from visiting the high country, she said. Aspen Skiing Company said snowfall has improved recently, with up to 17 inches falling in the past week. Storms last week allowed Aspen to open more terrain. Colorado Ski Country USA noted the state's historically snowiest months are still ahead.
The costs of living are apparently eating into Colorado's prosperity, as reported in the Durango Herald. The Bell Policy Center in Denver released a report last Friday that should give pause to lawmakers giddy over the state's appearance of prosperity. Yes, Colorado has one of the best economies of any state in the nation, and it ranks among the nation's best for the number of people living in prosperous communities. You can stop there and be happy. The left-leaning Denver think tank's Economic Mobility Guide, however, pulls together research to show the disparities in rural parts of the state, and those being soaked are at the bottom of this economic wave. Long story short, wages aren't keeping up with costs, or you could say costs are outpacing wages. And Colorado's 2.7% unemployment rate is propped up by the fact that more and more jobs in the state are in low-paying sectors and wages are flat. Meanwhile, home prices and rents in places where good jobs are located, the urban Front Range, are skyrocketing beyond the reach of the working poor. As part of the research, the Bell Policy Center had meetings with residents across the state. What they're saying is, one, our wages are not keeping pace with the cost of living, said Rich Jones, the center's director of policy and research. We need better jobs that pay more, and secondly, the high cost of housing and, to a large extent, the high cost of health care is a factor. While it looks on paper that Colorado is doing well, they're just not able to keep pace with these costs. Highlights in the report include a minimum wage earner in Colorado would have to work 95 hours a week to rent a two-bedroom apartment. Average weekly wages from 2000 to 2016, adjusted for inflation, rose from $1,000 a week to $1,033. A homeowner in Colorado needs to earn $21.97 an hour to afford rent and utilities in Colorado, and a renter needs a household income of $17.13 per hour. Workers in low-wage jobs in Colorado grew from 13% in 2004 to 22% in 2016, a 69% increase. Automation could affect 477,000 low-wage, low-skill workers, stressing the need for affordable education and training programs, the Bell Policy Center asserts. A study of 23 states found Coloradans spend the most on out-of-pocket costs. The center looked at 3 areas that could be addressed by the Colorado General Assembly, which convened its four-month legislative session last week. Governor John Hickenlooper, Senator President Kevin Grantham, and House Speaker Crisanta Duran each spoke in their opening addresses about doing more to lift up the economically lagging rural parts of the state. Rural broadband and economic development assistance was high on their priority lists. I'm personally headed to a meeting in Cortez representing the Dove Creek Chamber and DCDC with a representative from OEDIT and the SBDC to see what options may be available to bring in conferences and help for rural individuals to embrace being entrepreneurs in Dolores and Montezuma counties, 2 rural, seriously depressed areas.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Luis Arreola Volunteer Fire Department is building a training tower at their main station at Road S. The 3-story structure allows firefighters to train in 3 specialized burn rooms where controlled fires are lit. They practice fire suppression, ladder installation, forced entry, evacuation, and rescue in adverse conditions. The tower includes sprinkler, hydrant, and ventilation technology, a rappelling platform on the roof, and interior and exterior stairways. For safety, heat sensors in the burn room trigger sprinkler systems if the practice fire gets too hot. Cutting props in the room add to the training. Construction costs are estimated at $300,000 for the 1,500 square foot structure. We have been saving money for this, and it will provide good training, said Chief George Devers. It also saves the department the costs of travel for tower training elsewhere, he said, and keeps firefighter certifications up to date. It could be made available for other fire departments to train on. Planning is underway and construction is expected to be complete by this summer.
Our neighbors to the north from Telluride News reported on a recent incident in Norwood. A suspicious call about a man who reportedly barricaded himself inside a room at Norwood's Backcountry Inn on Thursday concerned an apparent suicide, according to San Miguel County Sheriff's Office and spokeswoman Susan Lilly. The name of the out-of-state man has not yet been released. Authorities did not engage with the man or have any other type of exchange, she added. The man may have been dead hours before authorities were on the scene, according to the county coroner, Emil Sante. The Emergency Dispatch Center received a call about the circumstances just before 1 p.m. State Highway 145, which serves as Norwood's main street, was subsequently closed to all traffic for just over an hour as the situation resolved, according to Lilly. Norwood Liquor employee Lorraine Tatman said a fire truck halted vehicles from coming into town while police cruisers closed off the other end near the hotel. She added that there also were police cars stationed on ancillary streets. Norwood school officials decided to place the building on lockout after receiving information about the incident from the sheriff's office, according to Lilly. A lockout is different from a lockdown in that people within the building during a lockout can still move about, but no one is allowed to enter or leave, Lilly explained. A lockdown prohibits people from leaving a certain area like a classroom. The lockout ended around 2:30 p.m. The Norwood Marshal's Office, Sheriff's Office, and Colorado State Police all responded to the scene. The Sheriff's Office posted on its official Twitter account @SheriffAlert just before 3 p.m. that the situation had been stabilized and there is no danger to the community.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of January 8th through the 14th. An after-hours emergent fire call was relayed to dispatch by 911. Pilots had reported seeing a fire as large as the town of Dove Creek, north of the airport. The sheriff and Dove Creek Volunteer Fire Department were dispatched to locate the fire. Calls to the Federal Aviation Administration eventually allowed for accurate mapping of the sightings. The fire was not north of Dove Creek, but was just east of Blanding. The sightings turned out to be a gas well blow-off at Montezuma Creek. All units returned safely. A local resident requested a civil standby in Dove Creek. Officers were able to comply. Several calls of vehicle versus deer were received and responded to throughout the county. A concerned citizen reported a low-flying yellow helicopter near County Road M and County Road 15. It was reported as dangerously low and scared the local livestock into breaking out of their pastures. The operating agency is trying to be located. A report from a county resident led to the arrest of John Frederick Walter on charges of third-degree assault, harassment, and domestic violence. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. January 17th, the Cortez Cultural Center presents Chuck and Ann Haspel's Journey to Guatemala and Costa Rica. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. And in August of 2017, Chuck and Ann did a peacemaking, climate justice, and faith study tour to Guatemala and Costa Rica. They listened to the stories of a retired minister of culture and university professor, a city mayor, city council members, local organizations, journalists, people working for justice and reforestation, the survivors of assassination attempts, resistors that had been beaten, bribes turned down, grassroots community organizers, church leaders, and about 100, mostly women, very brave, dignified, and humble peasants, farmers, indigenous groups, and students. January 18th, Thursday, from 7 to 9 p.m., the Blind Boy music is appearing at Wild Edge Brewing Collective in Cortez on Market Street. And both January 19th through January 20th at the Gristmill Inn in Monticello, they'll be hosting a 1920s murder mystery dinner stayover from 4 p.m. Friday through 10 a.m. Saturday morning. This is a fully catered overnight event. There will be dinner, breakfast, and non-alcoholic drinks. This will be an evening to remember fun for couples and for singles. There are 12 slots available, and they're charging $75 per couple, $45 per single. Every couple and single gets their own room and character. They're hoping to have everyone get outside their comfort zone and get into character. Slots are first come, first serve, and anyone who signs up needs to answer 2 questions. If you lived in the 1920s, what kind of person would you be, and what would your profession be? To sign up, please visit the Gristmill to reserve your slot. They accept cash or check, and you can find them on Facebook or online at thegristmillinn.com. All of these happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the week as well.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.